Now, 3 key things. I call it the 3 tripods. How do you really describe entrepreneurship? That person who is an entrepreneur must have these 3 key things. Every other thing is an addition. Now, every other thing you want to talk about entrepreneurship, a subset of all this. 1 is taking initiative. Taking what? Initiative. And when you take initiative, you must be somebody that likes to start something new. Something new. And with something new is a very big risk. It's a function of your appetite. Like if you look at some banks, look, the MD just placed 8 billion naira in CBN bond, very safe. Goes to Abuja, may plane his golf, very cool. Rational risk. The thing will yield like 15% every year. They are going at slow pace, no problem. That's low appetite. Another bank with big appetite, at the end of the year, from a balance sheet of 8 billion, we've been able to make additional revenue of so. It's okay. But another bank with a bigger appetite, we put some of the money in stocks, some of the money in capital. That money can actually double itself, but it comes with a bigger risk. Because the objective of doing business, and somebody sets up a company, is to create wealth. The objective of setting up a business, please get this and don't forget it. The objective of setting up a business is not to pay salary. People always get it wrong. Do you know that our people called shareholders? They came together, said, we want to start this business. Were they thinking about you? It's just that along the line, they will need people to work with them. That's a secondary issue that will pay salary. They come together to create wealth. And when you are business, either you are creating wealth or you are killing wealth. You do lots of things. What does an entrepreneur do? He creates wealth by taking initiatives. What does a typical employee do without? They kill wealth. They don't see anything wrong with their mistakes. They talk to the customer anyhow. When the customer is gone, they really don't bother. Let me give you practical examples. In those days when post office used to thrive, I had bitter experience. There is a lady across the counter in the post office and you want to buy stamp. I give you post office. Immediately you stretch 500 to her. She's even chewing gum while dying. And you stretch 500. She looked at the 500 and said, she turns back and says there's no change. And she keeps just stealing it. Now that is not an entrepreneur. That is a typical employee. For her, 30 days is what she's waiting for. Now I now ask myself, assuming the pay to this lady at the end of the month is incumbent on the number of stamps sold, do you think there will be change? There will be a mentality shift immediately. That, if I don't sell stamp, I will not be paid. Secondly, when I moved into my new office, I brought a very fantastic office assistant, Monday. Then I had a work rock I needed to place in my training room. I said, Monday, go and look for a stone or something we can use to hit the nail on the wall and hang the... Do you know, he went for like an hour and came back and said he cannot find a stone. But he told me that he had an hammer at home that will bring it tomorrow when he's coming, just to hang one wall clock. We'll wait for tomorrow. Imagine this wall clock was dependent on us keeping our job. You see my own thinking now. What must be done now must be done now. Entrepreneurs don't procrastinate if you take ownership. You know what I did? I sent other people to look for stone. They equally came to tell me they couldn't find. Because of the location, all roads were tarred, there was no sight around. And do you know what I did? I said, Monday, and all of you, can you please come? If you don't find that stone in another 2 hours, it means that you have stopped working here. He said, I said, yes. In the next 30 minutes, if you know the number of stones that started coming to the office in different shapes, it was like we wanted to construct from there. I said, it's enough! We don't need this stone. So I asked them, I laughed. I said, what now? How did you now find the stone? In the same place you couldn't find stone. They took what? I said, what are we going to do now? You see, something is at stake. For a businessman, something is always at stake. his investment is going to go down in his very eyes. The employee don't care. Employee will dust their butt and move to another company. Organizing and reorganizing of social and economic mechanism to turn resources and situation to what? Practical account, profit and loss. You see now, profit and loss. Wherever you find yourself, client service. Client services are, we need to pay a visitation to Akwa Ibom to see our clients for a customer forum. But you know what? Excuse me. In Port Harcourt, we have a branch. And the branch manager there is capable. If the branch manager goes to Bayelsa, or we fly from Lagos to Bayelsa, which is cheaper? But of course, from Port Harcourt to Bayelsa, cost. You see now, the person in Lagos is thinking about profits and loss. How do they organize and reorganize themselves in such a way that that task will be done and done well, but at what? The lowest cost. That is what an entrepreneur thinks about. And that is why I send my own branch manager in Port Harcourt. Anything in that region that I can avoid, I say, how will they go? They will just drive down. By the time they go and come back, may have cost 8,000 to fill the car. But by the time I fly, go, stay hotel for one night, it may be 50,000. Do you understand? Which alternative would the owner of the business choose? If the owner of the business is not around, and at the end of the year he looks at your books, and discover that certain assignments were done repeatedly for 100 times during the year, and you keep flying from Lagos, whereas I was Port Harcourt, how will the owner of the business feel? You are running business anyhow. You cannot take the initiative of knowing that you need to what? Take care of cost. Because the moment you are not making money, and there's economic glut, like it's affecting so many companies now, what is the nearest strategy? Cut your what? Cost. But if it is a high-powered meeting that surely you need to appear, there's no problem there. You need to go. You also don't cut costs to the detriment of what? Making more money than the cost. You have to put them on paper. So, organizing and reorganizing yourself. 6 of us need to go to the prisons at Lekpe Expressway to go and meet some customer for some kind of forum. The cost of 6 of us going, cost is not only about money, cost of time. Can we deploy the other 3 people to go and do equally another thing that will add value to the company? But all of us will just go like it is what's it called, a jamboree. These are employee mentality. Allocate time, allocate resources, reorganize and plan for the optimum benefit of the organization. Okay, for this first session, that is what the entrepreneur looks more like. Are we together now? Is it making sense? Good. I'm going to be using my company as an example. I have a manager in Ibadan. Whenever I have things to do in that axis, I deploy you. I have an associate in all the states of the federation. Whenever I have things to do there, they can handle at their level, I deploy them. Then they give me feedback. All of these things is to what? Cut cost. In the last 2 months, we won an account, 120 million naira. The whole of the job was done by somebody situated in Benin. But I have had cost to go to Benin 3 times in the last 2 months. But he had cost because he keeps record to interface with that company 47 times. Imagine I was going to Benin 47. The company would have just been wasting money. But you know, if I go to Benin, I will sleep in a hotel. I will get outstation allowance. I will eat. You know, I will flex. Traveling is good. I don't allow that to overwhelm my sense of entrepreneurship. You see now, I am taking ownership because I am like running a company within a company. It's all about the cost. I am always very careful about cost. Because at the end of the day, there will be no point making $1 billion naira and you have spent 2 billion. Revenue is different from profit. I'm sure you know. Revenue is the total money that comes in, which is different from profit content out of the money. Okay. And then accepting risk and what? Failure. Arguably the most important. Arguably. What does a typical employee do without employees without enterprise content? Every fault is not their fault. And then you pass the ball. You call it the blame game. What does an entrepreneur do? He absorbs failure. He takes the risk. Once you fail to take initiative, automatically translate that you will never what? Accept risk and failure. And there's no big deal. People think there's a big deal about this. Oh, I'm sorry. We will ensure that we don't go that way anymore. Now we understand better. In the course of trying to build an enterprise and develop people, things like this will arise. They are part of perfecting the system. It is part of perfecting initiatives. You are only trying. I am running an initiative for this company which we will share in the second session. No HMO has done it before. You know the implication of this? We don't have anybody to learn from. We are learning from, you can imagine the gruesome mistakes we had made. But we accept what? And what? Say nothing is your fault. I accept, sir. Is it not me that I know where I'm going? Complete entrepreneurship. I know where I'm going. You just let's wait and see. At the end of the year, we would like to show you that as we have said in our business plan, we are going to be becoming to be profitable as from the 5th year. And that's exactly where we are heading to, according to our goal that we drew.